Hey guys, as you all know, my name is Prince Ezekiel, and you can call me Your Majesty or Dr. Zeke, if I may say. All right.
And you know me, she's shy, she's savage, St. Janet, all of the above.
And it's your boy Benji.
Cool. And today, guys, we have 3 special, wonderful guests in our midst. Okay, so starting from the left, we have our educator / masters in education leadership, author of No Title, entrepreneur, Black in Tech, Anthony.
Yeah.
And in the middle, we have our beautiful, sophisticated, elegant, and bougie, and future Emioga.
You already know.
And last but not the least, we have Mr. Caramel in Tech, Oshomogbamobi, Emmanuel. Let me not continue, but yeah, you get the gist.
Right. Thank you guys for coming, and you all stay tuned as we get this food cooking.
Awesome.
All right.
The first question is...
Can I use the bathroom?
You see?
I'm just joking.
Okay.
Our very first question is, why do people that are fresh off the boat, F.O.B, consider Nigerians that were born here Akatas?
I'm gonna let the F.O.B go first.
I about to say, yeah, ladies
Wait,
go first.
what?
Ladies go first. Ladies go
Even
first.
staying in between you guys now, the pressure is getting
What's
so, and now you want me to go first?
Ladies first.
You guys should better go first because
ladies first.
And the weather is giving. Is it hot or cold? Because what's going on here?
I mean,
but whatever. I don't
47
think.
degrees outside.
The question was mainly for y'all. So.
Well, I don't think the FOB, which I am, not really, but yes, sees you guys as not being Nigerian fully, but in some cases we see you guys as American because there's some things that we actually classify as a Nigerian thing, but you can't understand because of the cultural differences. Like, you know, the way I grew up is different from the way you grew up, and the Nigerian culture is different from the American culture. So some things I do or say, you're like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. But I'm like, it's a big deal where I'm coming from or where I came from. But you guys don't see it like that. And I'm like, oh yeah, because I'm a full Nigerian. I know our cultures, I know our values, and I know our standards, which you guys do not live by for the most part. That's why I would say that I don't like. I know I've been using that word consistently, but for the most part, I don't see you guys as 100% Nigerian because you guys don't live by some certain values and standard that a whole, Niger babe, fully blooded Niger babe knows. So.
Okay, we about to kill you on this one. You wanna go?
Please, easy on me.
Okay, first of all,
Easy.
I'm gonna come from a scientific approach.
Yeah.
We all study biology, right? You know I hope you know the Punnett square. Mm-hmm. If you have 2 Nigerian parents, you are default by Nigerian. Scientifically, bloodlines 100%. So I don't know where this like 50% of or another percentage is coming from, but scientifically, me and Emmanuel are Nigerian.
Yeah.
Period. Okay. All right. Now back to like, let's make it. Let me not take the education approach from there too. Right. All right. You said there's culture differences. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we're all Yoruba. It's all the same culture.
Can you speak Yoruba as fluent
Okay,
as
let me tell you something too about Nigerians too as well. Okay, just because someone can't speak fluently Nigerian like you can doesn't take away that they're Nigerian.
I'm not taking away that you're Nigerian. Relax. I'm not taking that away. You guys are Nigerian, but you can't relate to some certain things.
Of course, we can't relate to some certain things because of the environment, and I'm not talking about that part. But at the same time, you have to realize as Nigerians. You travel. Nigerians are everywhere, not just in America. There are French Nigerians. Yeah. There are UK Nigerians. Yeah. There are Australian Nigerians. Do
they live by some Niger values, though?
Honestly, okay, growing up, my dad used to tell me, when you're inside this house, you are in the Republic of Nigeria. But when you go outside, you are in America, for sure. But America didn't raise me. Yeah. My parents raised me. And of course, that there is not going to, it's not, all courses is going to be some difference. But if you think my mom and dad raised me in an American way, you see my mom.
But
and
your
stuff
people,
that. So hold
your
on, let me
parents
finish.
raised you, but your environment does most of the job.
No, it does not.
It does.
I don't know how you raise your kids. I don't know how you're going to raise your kids. But look, my mom did not care what my American friends were doing because she's that parent of like, I don't care. Like, I can never be like, Mom, can I go to this party? All my friends are going. Are you living with all your friends? Like, you know what I mean? Like, so my environment is not raised. My environment did not teach me manners. My environment didn't teach me how to eat my own culture food. You know what I mean? I get what your point, because there is an influence outside of anybody's environment. I get that part. But, like, I'm not going to be like, oh, who raised you? My environment. Like, no, my parents raised me. They did a really good job of keeping me in the culture, for sure, because there are Nigerians who are not culturalized. So, but just because you don't know, maybe, like, because even sometimes I ask my dad some cultural questions, he's like, me, I don't know. Like, you know, so, like, even, like, so, but just because, and times change, but just because that we're not born or raised in Nigeria doesn't take away from us being Nigerian, especially the way diverse Nigeria is as a whole. Like, we're the America of Africa. You know what I'm saying? There's no one who doesn't have a Nigerian friend. There's even Chinese and Nigerians, right? But I'm not going to I'm just not going to rip away your whole culture, your own ethnicity.
Is. Please,
what's the question again?
I'm not. Oh my God.
What's the question again? Because you said nobody is, but
I'm not,
question?
but I don't like. I don't like. We'll say, oh, you're fully Nigerian because of some certain things that you don't embrace. You get what I'm saying? There's some certain values and standards that, as a Nigerian,
but do you think that
you
people,
don't actually
do you think
embrace.
that people in Nigeria, even themselves, embrace some of their stuff?
I mean,
in
right?
there?
Honestly,
not everybody gonna do that either in Nigeria.
wait, honestly, right now, I don't know. Times have changed, like you said. But I'm talking about when I lived there. But I'd like Emmanuel to say something.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna go straight to the point. I feel like when it came to that question, you didn't answer the actual question. Like,
Okay.
The question said, why do F.O.Bs consider like people like us that were born here, Akata? And it's just like when you look at the term Akata, you look at it as somebody who was born here, who was born. Like, just basically, I don't want to call it ghetto, but I just want to call it, like, you know,
rise,
yeah. Like, when you
no culture,
exactly,
no
like,
home training.
When you look at like, you know, the way that F.O.Bs approach us, y'all kind of like, you know, put us on a certain pedestal that's like y'all are lower than us when it comes to the culture. Like on a very serious note, and it's kind of like it's because we don't know how to speak the language as fluent as y'all. It's because we don't know how to probably cook the food as good as y'all. But at the same time, I don't know. Like, I feel like that all has to do with home training. Like, especially the parents. Like, whatever my parents taught me is what I'm going to go out and, like, you know, broadcast to the world. But it's just, like, for y'all to, like, sit here and call us Akata when just because we don't know, like, you know, all the cultures and values that y'all came with from Nigeria and all of this stuff. I just feel like that's not fair.
Well, I'll say something about the cultures and values we're talking about. Like, I see something that is like growing up, what I was taught is be very respectful to your elders. Like, whatever, like when an elder tells you to do something, just because they're an elder, just be respectful. You know, if they tell you to put your hands in fire, you definitely won't do that. But it is a way you can actually act towards that elder. But something I've realized that people like you guys do is, no, you can't tell me what to do.
Nah.
You can't tell me what to do.
Nobody. Okay,
like you're not my dad.
That's really
No,
the
I've
problem
seen
right
it.
there.
Maybe you guys don't do it, but I've
Exactly.
seen it. Like, you know, there's no respect there. There's no value of, oh, this is an elderly person.
That's really the
You
problem.
guys will just open your mouth.
Wait. Before I say that, I want to use her example. Okay, before I say that, I want to use her example. All right, cool. So, look, your example is crazy because, like, there's going to be just bad children or bad or whatever, or people going to have manners no matter where you're from.
Fact.
Period. But what you just said, that's some white people shit. Like, honestly. So also, don't say, I know you don't literally mean you guys, but, okay, one thing that is a culture thing, right? And you see this around other cultures in India and China, right? And it's going to kind of correlate to what she's saying. We know if we see an elder, it's mommy or auntie. Same thing in India too. You know, same thing in India too. Like, right? So that is a cultural thing, right? For that example, sometimes fresh off the boat people act like we don't know it's a cultural thing to greet an elder as an uncle or as an auntie. You know what I mean? But it also goes back on the home training. But again, like back to what Emmanuel was saying, we all know what an Akata is. Someone who is rise, someone who is, maybe a little rough around the edges. But you get that too in Nigeria though. But my thing is like what you see outside in America, like I do not represent all first generation like Nigerians. There are first generation Nigerians everywhere. But guess what? Fresh off the boat haven't traveled. That's why they call fresh off the boat. And sometimes their first experience is, the Nigerians in America. But maybe if they went around the world and be a little bit educated, they know like, wow, okay, you know what? Nigerian as a community is a multi-diverse community of the world. Call it this way. We're just like the Chinese. We're just like the Chinese, but we're black.
Truth be told, I've experienced it as far as, because you weren't born in Nigeria. Well, technically, even though I was born in Nigeria and I came here at 1, I don't have the fluent Yoruba, But one thing that I will kind of eclipse everything that you guys have said is that our culture is very strong. I think with any African culture is very strong. Any fresh off the boat anywhere, you will notice that when their parents are first generation, they instill that culture very well into their children. So because, me and my siblings grew up here, me being from 20 plus years, they instill that culture into us, to always, prostrate to our elders, as Anthony said, sa, ma, you never address your parents by their first name, mom, dad. Because Americans do that. Some do, but generally speaking,
some Nigerians do.
But generally speaking, you're not gonna do that unless you want to see white lights. Just kind of close it out. So I kind of agree with what you guys are saying, but I think it's just, to kind of piggyback, our culture is very strong. So, that first generation African parents, they're gonna instill that culture very well into their children. Now, as their children get older, whether or not they want to take that culture that they've been trained from their parents, that's on them. That's all on them.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say.
All right, Shy.
Yeah, pretty much. I would say everybody has a point. She gets, and it really does fall back on your parents. What your parents teach you from the get go, and then like you just said, as the kids, as they grow up, it then depends on them if they really want to continue with what their parents have instilled in them, or they want to just switch it up and follow the wrong society and end up where they don't want to end up in. That's my own take.
Okay. Well, for me, my own take is, first, let me define Akata in my own terms.
Oh yeah.
So to me, Akata is sometimes we use Akata as just a blunt someone that grew up here in America. Mm-hmm. Like we don't have a negative thought towards it. But just like every word, you can use it negatively and you can use it positively. And sometimes the way we use Akata negatively is if we see some behavior that we feel is not common in the Nigerian blood, pretty much. For example, if we see like young people disrespecting adults, as she mentioned, we might just term it as Akata. Mm-hmm. And we're not terming it, and we'll not just call anybody Akata, pretty much. For people in our own, for people in Nigeria, if it's people in Nigeria, what we say? Like, like, he's abusing, like, they weren't trained at home, pretty much. But because you grew up here and you are considered an American, and we term Akata as American. But then we are like only wa Akata. You understand what I'm saying? Sure. So that's the negative part of it so it's not every time we call you Akata that we mean negative. Mm-hmm. Usually we just use Akata as most of the time we use it as a Black American terminology in Yoruba. Yeah. It's not really the negative part. It's only if we are seeing some things then. Also, like I feel like there's another word that you can even use that has a positive meaning. Many words are like that has a positive meaning and have a negative meaning.
Nigga.
And exactly, you understand? If I call you if I call you nigga, right? Yeah. Depending on how I say it, you can either take it as a positive or a negative. It depends on who's saying it. Yeah, and it depends on who's saying it. Yeah. So race now, then it's and it also depends on the situation. Exactly. You understand? Okay, if you are doing something bad and they call you Akata, then you can be offended. You understand what I'm saying? But if they are calling you Akata just because you are Black American, or sometimes they don't even mean to offend you. If they just see traits that they just believe that it's not something that a Nigerian has
That's something a Nigerian
that will be
do.
afraid to do. You understand? Something that a Nigerian will be afraid to do because of the way we are the way we are tamed. We are pretty much tamed. I'm not gonna say brought up specifically, but brought up is the right word. However, it's tamed because you are afraid. You understand? It's already in your head that you can't just do it. You understand? So when sorry.
Go ahead. Continue, finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
But when you do it and you get away with it, we are like, okay, only work. People just use that term because they are like, they can't really do much about it. They just believe that it's because you are here, you have freedom. You can do whatever you do and get away with it. In Nigeria,
which is not true.
You
can't do anything and get away with it here.
You're black.
It depends on the situation. No, that's not what I said. That's not.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about that.
I'm gonna need you to rephrase that real quick.
No, I'm still the same phrase.
People
because
feel like they're very entitled here too.
Because
like, it's my right.
It's our place.
Yeah, we pay taxes, shit.
Anyways, the reason why they say Akata is, as I said, like they just believe that you can get away with it and there's nothing you can do that anyone can do about it, just because the way the country is set up. You are not going to beat the person. If you give the person punishment, the person will call the cops on you. You understand what I'm saying? If you try to go hand in hand, cops. So they just you get shot. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why we just use the word Akata pretty much. That is because we're in Akata environment, that's what we call it. Because we're in a different environment. Even when in Nigeria and they'll give it a different terminology. So not everything is Yankee. Yankee. We use
people.
Yankee for Americans. Even me, I didn't even know that Yankee was America at first, but we use Yankee for America. But what's your?
So, but I was gonna say like that. The word Akata now. It depends on who you're actually saying it to. If they want to take offense to it or not take offense to it. I've been called that name several times. I really don't take offense to it because I know who I am. I know where I'm from. That's what really matters. So
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
So let me just add this one more statement, and I agree that the way you were raised, because before I always stereotype that all Akata or all Black Americans have that same behavior. But lately, I've discovered that it's not that even if you are born here, you can even still be respectful than someone that is from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because I've seen I can name like 2 examples. Even see the way Emmanuel is speaking Yoruba. You know your culture, Anthony. You understand? You guys are very informed, and it's more of the individual themselves, and the parents too play an important role.
No,
they play a very important role, because when you treat your children in such a way that you treat them like an American, pretty much, you treat them based on the society that they can get away with anything. You understand, like they should be free and stuff. Then they are more. Then you can't control them when they take advantage of the situation. But if you train them, you discipline them from the beginning, then you wouldn't have anything to worry about.
That's why American women like Nigerian men, because the way we were brain.
Exactly.
Okay. So that's it.
That's it.
Cool. Next question. Do you think relationships are supposed to be 100% or 100 or 50-50? If so, why? Should I restate?
You go first.
Emmanuel?
Yeah,
Okay.
we all went first one time.
I can't lie. Sheesh, that's a tough question. I would say it depends on financial stability. If I'm well off, I definitely don't want my wife to pay for anything. Wife, kids, all of that. Like, I want to make sure they're financially set. But that depends on my pockets, though.
We had that part.
If I'm not financially up there and I'm gonna need help, like, I feel like it should be, something that's not the man, like, not my fault, not the man, but the woman, not the woman paying 50%, but like at least like, a certain portion. But if I'm financially set, of course I'm taking over 100%.
Preach it, bro. Preach it.
I like that.
The Nigerian blood is kicking in.
Well, I'll give him the honor to actually start.
All right, when I read this question, I didn't think financially. I just think 100%. I thought of effort. I thought of like commitment. So by 100%, what that means to me, so my answer is yes. Like, it should be 100. I give 100, you give 100. Not like I give 50 and then you give 50, right? So I looked at it in a different lens in that case. And honestly, I feel like this question is very common. Whatever 100% looks like for the couple, let it be that, right? So if 100% looks like you're paying for everything, okay, cool. If 100% looks like you're full committed, cool. But like if I'm giving 50, where's the other 50 going? Right? Because 100% is usually complete. Right? So it's just like I don't understand the whole part of what's 50-50. Okay, if I give you 50 of this, if I give you this, she just can't help but interrupt me. But yeah, so that's just how I see it. Because if I am getting 50-50, where's my other 50 at? Is my other 50 going to some commitments outside of my relationship? It shouldn't, right? Because your relationship should be, every relationship that you have, you should always give 100% effort. If you're going to do something, you might as well do it right.
So my fault, just to ask you a question. So basically what you're saying is that it should be 100 and 100. Because when you put 50, when you say 50-50, there's something left on the table.
Yeah, where's the other 50 going? Yeah, where's the other 50 going? So my more 100 can definitely be a physical thing. It could definitely be an intangible thing, an emotional thing. Because I break up relationships in 3 different ways. That's physical. So that's physical. But yeah, so I break up relationship as physical, emotional, and spiritual. Yeah. Right. I'm gonna give 100% in my physical part. I'm gonna give 100% in the emotional part. I'm gonna give 100% spiritual part.
In 100%, like what he said, like giving both the effort comes, like, you know, each other. You both contribute to that effort to bring 100 to the table. But as you know, you introduced me as a male guy, you know. Being a man, being a provider, I think is a very beautiful thing. Even as a Christian, it's very beautiful. You give the man the opportunity to actually lead you because it's providing for everything. You can also provide, like, it's not like you be lazy, you know, just be a douchebag at home. But that'll actually take me to this particular question that I'd like to ask this man. If you're a complete provider, but your wife decides that she still wants to work, or maybe she's not really working, but she has something, but money is coming in, are you still going to intrude into her money, even though you're paying for everything? Will you still be concerned about what she uses her money for?
Go ahead.
No, let him go.
No, I think his hell no was just, he's like straight up hell no. Like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, honestly, to answer her question, who was I in your life before I came into the picture? You feel me? Like, if before I came into your life, you was probably in school, you was probably doing something with your life, and then I just came into the. I feel like when it comes to, like, you know, just human beings in general, we just add value to each other. That's really just it. Like, I don't feel like I need to stop the way that you move in terms of your money and stuff like that. We're just building a partnership in terms of, like he said, physical. Physical, emotional, and spiritual. Like, we're just building on that. Like, I don't really feel like I need to be all up in your business in terms of, like, you know, like, what you got going on with your life.
I was just asking. The reason why I like really what you said, by the way. Honestly, let me make sure I'm checking for understanding too. Your question is, if I'm like well off, I'm paying for everything, right? Should I be concerned with your money too?
With what I'm doing with my money.
I mean, as a relationship, I mean, you want to communicate, you want to be transparent. Like, I mean, you become one, you become unity. So I'm absolutely going to be concerned with, if I'm paying for everything, like, literally to the T. Well, obviously you're not working, because, like, what are you working for? Like, I mean, right now you only work to pay your bills. But if everything is, if you just want money in your account, like, on top of what I'm giving you, like, then, like, that's fine. But I'm still gonna be concerned on what you're doing, just like how I could be concerned if you're leaving the house at 12 o'clock at night. That's my business. We are one together. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about the money thing. It's the principle of it. You know, like, especially, like, just in saying, like, hey, we're trying to buy a new house, right? I'm already getting everything or whatever, stuff like that. And this is our goal. This is what we really want. And I realize, and you see me working my ass off, because obviously I got to be if I'm providing for everything, because that ain't easy, right? Like, but then I just see you not doing things that correlates that goal. We're not on the same page. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm not saying that, like you got to be responsible. Like, why are you going out or doing whatever with the money when you know that, damn, this money that you're spending that adds up? Cause now, obviously, if I'm well off, you probably got a couple Louis. You got a couple things. Like, right now, do you need an extra Louis? That $2,000 that you spent on Louis bag, shoot, it could have went to some new lighting fixtures in the house. You know what I mean? So I think that if you're working on the same goal, like when you're in a marriage, right, you become one. Yeah. And I'm not saying it. That's what God said. You know, it's unity, right? So yes, I'm gonna be concerned about your money. You could be concerned about my money too. Cause yes, if I'm taking care of you, you never have to lack. But I'm using some of my other money to, you know, have my, you know, girlfriends on the side or two. You're gonna be concerned about that. Yeah. You know, it's bigger than the money. It's a principle of it.
Yeah.
Just to add on to your point, you're taking care of everything. Like, she probably gonna have a couple Louis, a couple, you know, exotic cars and all of this stuff. If you're making your own money, at that point, if the man is responsible for everything, that's where it's your responsibility now. It's my responsibility as well, but it's also your responsibility more than me, because I'm taking care of everything, but to also provide generational wealth for the children. Exactly. You feel me? Like, if all of my money is going towards, like, you know, taking care of this, that, and the third, obviously, you know, I'm going to add to, you know, that building that generational wealth. But if all of your money is just kept to yourself, like 100% of it, I promise you, like, it's at least a majority of your money needs to be going towards, like, you know, build a generational wealth.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, is it going to be an issue for you? You're like, oh, why did you buy that? Oh, what did you use this to do?
Just like he said.
Or how much do you have in your account? I want to see what I feel it's giving controlling.
It's not controlling.
I mean, 50 is the same to me, pretty much, because it's all right. Like, if I'm giving 50%, and you, like, if I'm making a salary, right? If I'm making 6,000 and you're making 6,000, if I'm putting 50%, I'm putting in 3,000, you're putting in 3,000, right? So it still sums up like we are putting the same amount pretty much, which is 100% from each side. But then going to the finances stuff and me asking, if I'm providing everything pretty much, right? If I'm taking care of the house, I mean, even without me providing, we have to have an understanding of our finances and how we spend it as a family pretty much, because our goal is to grow. And if you are doing your own thing and I'm doing my own thing, then that's not being one pretty much. That's not the goal of marriage, because the goal of marriage is to be one, right? To know where because anything that you do will affect me and anything I do will affect you. So if I'm spending my money in some way and you're not satisfied with it, I mean, if I'm already putting my own portion of 50% and you're putting your own portion of 50%, in that case, you can do whatever you want to do with your own remaining 50%, and I'll do whatever I'm going to do. And if we're going to do anything together, we'll put our own, the same amount. But that's if we're making the same money. You understand? If we're both making the same money. But if I'm making a lot of money and you're not making that much money, I might not even want you to even spend anything. I might just be like, I'll take care of everything. You understand? Okay, let's say I'm making 10,000 and you're making 5,000, right? I can decide that, okay, I'll pay for everything. I'll pay 5,000. That 5,000 will be for everything completely. And I'll let you keep your own 5,000. You understand what I'm saying? That's another different case. I don't really care. But if I'm making 5,000, you're making 5,000, and I'm spending 3,000, you're spending 3,000. I would like to. I mean, if I'm taking care of everything pretty much, as I said, if I'm making the same money, sorry, and this is already becoming kind of confusing. But if I'm making 5,000, you're making 5,000, right? And I'm spending 4,000, and you're not really spending that much on the house and everything. It's my responsibility to know what you are doing with the money, because if I don't know what you are doing with the money, then you're calling me a fool pretty much. Yeah. Because I'm putting everything down for the family. But what are you doing? You understand? I have to make sure I have a deeper understanding of whatever you're doing. That's why I say it depends. So the goal is, when you are putting 100%, you have to know what your second is doing with their money. But if both of you are putting the 100%, you don't necessarily have to get involved, because you can do whatever they are doing doesn't really concern whatever you are doing. But if you want to do, let's say you want to secure your children's finances, right, and you're both putting 50%, you also have to subtract and come to a conclusion that, okay, out of the remaining 50%, I want to put another 20% for the children. I want to spend 20% for food. You have to put another 20%. So this is things that shouldn't even be a problem in a family. This is more of an understanding situation, and it's based on the situation you find yourself that will determine whatever step you take. For me, though, you understand? My goal is to provide for my family, because as a man, it commands respect. Yeah. And you are able to, like, at least your wife will take care of you. She will take care of you. Yeah. Like, when you have the money, she will not even.
Of course.
That will not be. You don't have the money, she ain't gonna take care of you.
Yeah, she ain't gonna take care of you. She's gonna treat you like an equal. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't have that man. You don't have the alpha feeling. You don't have that. You understand? So that she's gonna be controlling pretty much.
Yeah.
You understand? Because she doesn't need you anyway.
Yeah.
She can do without you since she's putting 50%. You understand? But if you have everything, then you also have a say to know where our money is going. You understand? So yeah, that's my own point. All right, Benji.
Yeah, I agree with everything y'all got to say, to be honest. I got nothing else to say.
Okay, I just want to add, I also agree, but then again, it depends. So there's a saying that says it's not what you say, it's how you say it. So it depends on how you're asking to see what her finances is going towards. Like you can be controlling about it, and then you can be nice about it. Go nice about it. That's my whole take. And then I would say 100% on both hands. So that way you're both giving all your whole and everything works perfect.
Can you talk about the other like parts of the relationship outside of physical? Because I feel like when your original question,
so emotional and spiritual wise.
I mean, okay, so when you ask your original question, if I said 100% of what would you say?
100% of everything, like being emotionally present,
right?
To for your partner whenever they need you, like you're listening to them, you're catering to them, you're watching them, you're saying, oh, okay, baby, me will feel good today, or baby, what's wrong, or whatever. Like you're there for them for their needs, and you're praying for them as well. You're praying for each other. You're praying for your family, and with all that working hand in hand, everything is gonna be nice. Nothing will go wrong. Like
we already answered that.
Will you give 100% sexually, spiritually, and emotionally?
That's why
Spiritually.
Yeah.
So if I'm Christian and I'm about to get married to a Muslim girl, like one of us has to sacrifice.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe that.
Okay.
I don't believe that.
All right.
I don't think. I mean, I also let them do. If I did marry a Muslim, I think I'll still. I mean, because they're still spiritual.
Yeah.
Right. They're still spiritual, and that's what my first point was going to. If it's physical, if it's emotional, if it's spiritual, every field is getting 100%. Period. So even if it's different, kind of a like religion or whatever, hell, at least you believe in something or whatever. Because even with your question, the only difference between a Muslim and a Christian is really Jesus. Maybe some other things too. But my bottom line is answer to just keep it short and simple. I'm gonna give 100% in all three of those major categories, and the fact that they're spiritual. Just because you're Muslim doesn't mean you're not giving 100%. Like, so, yeah.
All right.
Just like you said, I'll save myself the stress because my Bible says, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. So why am I marrying someone who isn't a Christian? So I'm definitely not even going to marry anyone who isn't a Christian.
We just tackle spiritually, sexually, giving it your whole. Like, if one person desires and the other doesn't desire, do you think the other person to submit to it? Like, even if they are not in the mood, pretty much.
I'll go first. That's a very interesting question because I had like a man that had sex with his wife while she was in labor because he knows he's not going to have sex with her in like months. They won't be able to have sex. I think it's a very huge thing for some men that don't have self-control, which is why as ladies, you have to actually marry a man that has self-control because it's either he's going to cheat. That is giving me he can't control his sexual urges, and like it's just gonna step out of the marriage at the end of the day. But I'll give 100% to my husband. It doesn't, to be honest, sex doesn't have to always. I was listening to a podcast, a sex therapist, and she says sex doesn't have to always be penetrative in the female genital part. There are other ways you can please your man. You get so you give it 100% in every way that you can please him.
Let me just clarify.
Don't
Before you go.
Right now.
Okay. All right. Let me just clarify because what I mean by 100%. What I mean by 100% is if you are not in the mood and is in the mood, would you do it?
Yes, I will. Okay. Me, I don't want any man to go and.
All right. Okay. So, Emmanuel.
Honestly, to go back to what Junior said earlier in terms of like sex before marriage, I feel like that's one of the key things in teaching yourself, like like that whole entire process that you go through with whoever you want to marry. Y'all are building that discipline, so when it comes to times of where the other person doesn't feel like having sex, you be like, okay, it's all right, and you won't have any eyes for anybody else. And that's just what builds like discipline. Like y'all both just have to have that discipline. So honestly, to answer your question, I don't know. Like, I just really feel like if the other person is not in the mood, they not in the mood. Like, I'm not gonna like.
You're not gonna be like, well, what to do?
Yeah, like I don't really see myself putting myself in that position where it's just like, okay, yeah, like.
But okay, let me not interrupt. Continue.
No, go ahead.
As a man, I believe that you always gotta be ready. Honestly, like, it's not even about being in the mood. Just be like, girls think that men are always horny, and like maybe that could be the truth. Everybody have different sex drive, but honestly, for me, it's like my mind time is like, just be ready. Just be ready for your partner. Okay. I mean, like, that's the least you can do.
So
I mean, you might not
100%.
want to, but I mean, it's your partner. You don't go to work, but you still do it. You don't want to go to work, but you still do it.
Okay,
sure.
okay, sorry.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, just you 100, you 100, she's 100, you're 50.
I'm not 50. I'm just like.
It just don't know.
Yeah, because it said if the person's not in the mood,
you just
like,
you just have to have that discipline between both parties.
So
like,
it's 50. Okay.
So what?
Right.
Hold on. But what do you expect? What do you expect them to do? Hey, I'm in the mood, babe. I'm not. Okay, we go to sleep.
Get it.
Like,
I'm not gonna lie.
Wait,
I'm not
wait.
gonna lie.
Like he gotta call Palmelina.
See, this is the thing.
Wait.
For me personally, like I really feel like that's what the rose is for. Like, go on ahead and do your little.
Also, I watch podcasts a lot, so I always reference to it. A lady said it's very easy to get a woman in the mood, even she's in the right emotional mindset.
Yeah.
If you make her happy,
that's where I'm coming.
she would do it.
Right.
She would just
Okay.
be splashing. Okay,
All right, so
please take that out.
Okay, no, okay.
My
But
man said,
anyways, you just mentioned. I have to mention. This is not a question. This is just one thing I want us to keep in mind, that even if one of us is not in mood, or you're not in the mood to do it, you can still try to make the person feel in the mood. You understand what I'm saying? Because it just takes one person to be in the mood. You know, if you lock a guy and a girl, if you lock not just any girl, for me, but if you lock a guy and a girl in a room, you understand what I'm saying? Like, if you guys like each other and one person has to make a move, you understand what I'm saying?
Next question.
It all depends on how you attract, like how much you're attracted to the person. If you're attracted to the person, then yeah, anything can happen. But if you're not, then it's like, no, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, is it cheating if the woman is not, or your wife? I'm not saying woman. Is not in the mood, and you want to
masturbate?
No, the massage therapy to get a happy ending.
Yeah, that's cheating.
How's that cheating? Hold on. How's that cheating?
It's that's not your wife. That's cheating.
I'm not getting no snipe with my wife. Let me go book a massage.
Y'all, you. How is it a happy ending?
Listen. If you don't consider that cheating,
just step aside and do your thing.
If you don't consider that cheating, would you?
Half the time you gonna beat your meat if your wife ain't giving you
Listen,
nothing.
hold on. You don't consider that cheating, right? If it was to be your wife, that you're not in the mood, and your wife goes out to go and get massage and get happy ending, would you consider?
What is a happy ending for a woman though? Because
that's
not okay. See, you guys
your happy ending is that the massage person will jerk you off.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
That's a form of sexual act.
It's
That's
still sex.
cheating.
Yeah. That's why I said sex
You
is
don't have
not
to
always
penetrate.
You don't
Yeah.
happy ending when you go and get
Sex is
massage
really
when you're happy
what
ending.
you do.
You're having sex
What
with
you
that
do.
person. If
Cause
not
some people
truly
don't call that
penetration, but
Yeah.
still.
It's sex
I
too.
don't see that.
As long as
For
you
you,
release.
for you, but sex is really defined.
As long as you really.
What
It's
you
not sex,
personally-
it's a sexual act.
Sex is
Yeah.
a
It's
personal
the cheating.
experience.
Okay, it's a
It's a
sexual act.
Yeah, it's a sexual
Okay.
act.
Yeah.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
not sex, it's a sexual act.
No,
It
it's
has-
Hold on.
But it's still cheating.
It's
Hold on.
cheating.
Is getting a lap dance a sexual act?
I think it is.
Wait, hold
it
on.
fun?
I
Wait,
won't be fine
No.
if my husband goes to a strippers,
Yeah.
strippers,
You always say this is
whatever,
not
cheating.
and they
But
laugh.
that's not
That's
cheating.
cheating
No,
to
it's
me.
No,
not.
it's
Hold
not.
on, no, hold on. It's not to
that's
the.
it.
If
That
your
wouldn't
wife
even hold up
gives
in
you-
court.
Listen.
They're doing their
That
job.
wouldn't even hold up in
Why
court.
are you
Listen,
going
listen,
there?
listen.
That is
That's
wrong.
This
not
is
on
this
court.
the
The
thing.
Bible
Okay,
says,
okay.
the
'Cause I like
Bible
women, that's
says,
why.
Let me say
please,
something.
sorry,
That's not in the
sorry,
Bible.
my, you know,
topic.
the Bible says if a man just lost over a woman, he already committed adultery.
That's the problem.
Not
Okay.
Why
everybody-
are
but
you
not
stepping
everybody-
into
but not
a
everybody's a
strippers
Christian.
store?
Hold on,
No,
but
that's-
wait.
that's the
Not everybody's
Let me
Christian.
let me say
Not everybody's
something.
I will see the
Right
problem.
there.
Let him
Not
talk.
everybody's a
can-
Christian though.
I
Not
can
everybody's
get a
Christian.
lap dance and not lust the female that's dancing on me. Like it's
With the
it's
big
not.
buttocks.
Yes.
Okay, wait.
Yes.
Sorry. Let me just clarify
What?
that.
Wait,
Sorry.
so,
Let me
yeah,
clarify.
I'm so unsolved.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify something. Cheating to me is not just the act; it's the mindset.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
So
You
if
not
I
about to
don't
get
have that
divorced,
If you have that
while she's on me,
mindset, yeah, then it's cheating pretty much.
exactly.
You understand?
Emotional-
I
she's
don't
saying like
have
it's
that
emotional.
mindset
Okay,
while
just
she's
the
on
thing.
me.
But
I
even
would say-
even if you're in a relationship, you don't want to
So-
go to
so
a strip
why
club.
you
Why are you
would
going
say
there?
this the thing.
It's your
what would you say
mindset.
about
You want to
those-
go and cheat.
What would you say about those couples that actually go to strip clubs together and literally get?
They
what would
agree.
you say
But
about
They
that?
That's
agree.
what I was just about
Yeah.
to
What
say.
would you
If
say
your
about
wife
that?
gives you the go ahead to get a lap
Then
dance from a
that's
stripper
fine.
or anybody else, then that's fine. But
That's
your
fine.
wife
Okay,
is
let's
not.
say let's say you
then
get
it's a
let's say you get a
problem.
lap dance, right? And the guy feel guilty. Babe, I'm so sorry. You know,
Then
I
I'm
know-
like,
you know I
baby,
love
it's
you.
okay.
Hold on,
I
hold
gave
on,
you the
hold on,
permission
wait.
to do
Wait,
it.
hold on. You know I love you, and I'm sorry. I will never cheat on you again. Oh my God! And she thinks you cheated on her, whatever, everything like that. She asks you, 'cause who's the bitch? Yada yada stuff like that. Like she asks you all the questions, and at the end of the day, all you did was a lap dance. Are you? Is that enough? Is that a legit cheat?
That's
right there.
That's what I'm saying.
That-
If
it
your
depends
wife,
on
a lap dance, a
mindset.
legit.
your
Anthony,
wife
I think it
gives
depends
you
on the conversation.
Yeah.
You can go to divorce for a lap dance.
Anthony, if your wife gives you the permission to
That's
do
fine,
it,
but if she doesn't,
then you're good. It's not cheating.
Yeah.
But
The thing
if
is
your
that-
wife
I'm a
does
jealous
not,
person though. It's
exactly,
cheating.
it's an
It's
agreement.
an agreement.
Okay.
Are you
That's
saying that?
adultery.
Sorry.
It's an agreement.
Because okay. What is? Wait.
It's an agreement.
Okay, let's get this straight, right? Let's just get this straight. If I'm with someone, right, which is my wife, right? If I go to someone else and collect, right, it's cheating
What
on
are
my
you
wife.
collecting? What are you collecting?
Whatever, like you are going to do whatever, you understand? Like maybe upstairs or whatever. It's cheating on my wife.
Yeah.
Because it's not her approval. You
Exactly.
understand what I'm saying? She didn't approve of it.
Okay.
But if my wife tell me to go and collect,
Exactly.
it's
Then
not
it's not
cheating.
cheating.
Because she approve of it.
Do you agree there's different levels of cheating?
They are different levels of
Yeah,
cheating.
that's what I'm
Different
saying. So
levels.
Yeah, no, there are different levels.
But,
Lap
you know-
dance is lower than intercourse. You understand what I'm saying?
Hold on, wait. Why'd you jump the happy ending? The happy ending is one end. Lap dance is the other end.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I just did the happy ending in the I mean, excuse me. No,
look-
sorry. No, sorry. Lap dance is one end, whereas
you did what?
penetration is the other end. Yes. Yes.
You want to tell us something?
Wait,
No,
so
but
Bidemi,
you don't want to happy ending.
Bidemi, are you trying to ask if happy ending is considered cheating?
I mean, you already established that, so I'm not
Okay.
really asking
It
that.
is, but if you're like I said, it depends
It ain't
on
cheating,
if you
cheating.
It
if you
is
receive
cheating.
permission.
Can I ask a question before?
Then
Okay, go ahead.
then you're good if
Okay.
you receive permission. Like there are some
Let me-
couples that do,
Sorry.
that swings. There's some couples that are swingers that you know. I watched
talked
the video
about
the other day, and then the guy was like, you know, he gets off of watching his wife having sex with other men.
Amazing.
There are people
call
like that.
them
There are couples like that.
polygamous, whatever.
Polyamorous. I think that's what he said.
Polygamy.
So I have a question. Because
Sir.
I don't want to. We all know. Hold on. Let me land. So
Alright, Bidemi is about
I have
to
a
talk.
question. There have been instances, and we all know, so I'm not gonna get into deeper. There have been times where uncles have divorced or married another woman from our aunties. Yes, are y'all following me? That sex was an issue, and from what I've heard, it was once a woman reaches menopause. I've read different articles. You can talk to different women. The sex drive decreases immensely. So be it at that age or even younger, what should a man do? What are things that a man can do when a situation? Because look, at the end of the day, you're not gonna force your wife. If she's not in the mood, she's not in the mood. She's not in the mood. You'll see her in the
Husband
next
too.
24 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Husband too.
Yeah.
Yeah, both
Yeah.
can,
So I think it's I mean, okay, yes, but I'm coming from the husband's point of view because that's something I'm gonna be one day. What should he do in that case? So he just be like, all right, you know what?
Is she
Okay, no,
Wait,
no,
Hold on,
Can I
I
say
in that
something?
case-
No,
real
sorry.
Get
No,
the
before you say
Glock
something, we're still
3000.
here. Okay, now regarding that part.
No,
that you
yes.
mentioned.
So what should he do in that situation?
Okay.
Obviously, yes. Okay,
That
do
shit,
it
okay,
yourself.
her level's
Okay,
not high,
wait.
like,
This is also why I choose 100%. You understand what I'm saying? Because when one person is in the mood and you just leave the person stranded, the person will feel not loved.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And that person now has an excuse to cheat, even if the person doesn't want to cheat. Because you're not giving the person what the person wants.
hold on,
you understand?
it's
It's not like it's okay. It's not like it's okay,
yeah.
but you are the one that caused it.
Toby,
instead of
Toby,
cheating,
Toby,
why don't you get
want me
a
to be completely
toy?
honest
There
with
are
you?
many
Wait.
toys out here that you can use.
You want me to be
Watch
What
your
completely
toy?
name.
Not everybody wants to use toy.
Well, you will learn to use a toy today.
I'm gonna keep it very real with you, bro. That's where the discipline comes in, bro. It's
True.
really where the discipline comes in.
Self-control.
Because if it's like, in terms of like, what you said was a very good point. Like, how I'm gonna
That's
feel
why I
like
have
you
a whole
don't
you.
love me if you don't have sex with me, if you
Yeah.
reject me and stuff like that. It could be a number of things. She could be going through so many things emotionally. Because I feel like when it comes to women, like don't get it wrong. Like, Anthony, don't get this wrong. When it comes to women, I feel like emotionally, like they're more emotionally in tune when it comes to sex. You feel me?
Emotion or something.
But it's just like, if she's not emotionally there, you cannot expect her to literally sit there and
Just fly.
And if she
you cannot.
she will fake it. She'll
She's
fake everything.
gonna
But
fake
baby,
it.
that was nice, but it was not nice.
I mean, that's why I said it's not good. That's why I mentioned myself that it's not good. Like, going out to get it is not good. Like, I agree, you have to be disciplined.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that situations like that, when they want it and you don't give it to them, not all guys are just going to sit down. Me, I'll sit down myself. But I know many guys that are not just going to sit down. When you have a whole package, you understand? Like, I was making fun of one of my friends that has a sex doll and stuff. You mentioned that. Yeah, he has a sex doll.
Damn.
And people, when I share the story,
Ain't nobody got a sex doll.
when I share the story, people are like, he has mental issues.
He
You
does
understand? So if you have a whole whatever, a human being at home, and you are forced to go and be using cream, or as a lady you can carry, let me land the, and you as a lady you can carry dildo when you have a man. It just kind of like, I would never like to even see my wife or my girlfriend doing that. It gives me that mindset that she can do with anybody, because that means that it gives me that mindset that person doesn't even need to love me or have feelings for me before they do it, which means they can do it with anybody. That's me. That's the way I think.
He has a point.
So
He
I'm
does
not
have a point.
gonna go and say that because you don't want to do, I'll not go and carry one sex doll and be doing. If I carry one sex doll, then I can do it with anybody. I mean, I cannot do it with anybody, pretty much. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I agree that no matter what, you have to give your 100%, even if you are not in the mood. But at the same time, it's not an excuse for you to cheat if you want to do it. Because sometimes it's just, you understand what I'm saying?
I don't know.
But my thing is,
go ahead. My fault.
if you really want to do that something right, but your partner is not in the mood, do not force your partner now. Either you go to sleep or you use a toy.
You can't go to sleep.
Or you watch porn.
No.
Not everybody.
No,
does.
Something. Do
But
something.
let's be realistic, though.
'Cause you're not gonna force
if you get
your partner.
denied, it's not just one night.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I just don't think that you get denied one night. Oh, this woman doesn't love me.
Exactly.
But if it's a period of time,
Yeah.
look, it's been a month and I ain't getting none. Obviously, we have a deeper problem.
Okay, then you gotta talk to your partner.
Yeah, no,
You
and
gotta
again,
find out what's going on.
Time.
Yeah, so
Time. No, pause all the way. If I'm being totally honest with you, if you can't go a month, like, let's say, okay, we're married, we're not freshly married, we're probably in it for like 10 years type shit. If you can't go a month without sex, you need to reevaluate like why you fell in love in the first place.
Why?
That's just me, because I feel like it's a lust thing at this point, because it's like if you can't go a month without having sex
With your wife?
like, with your wife, I'm talking about like with your wife. If you cannot go a month without having sex, and during that time period of you not having sex, you're not watching porn, you're not masturbating, you're not doing any of that stuff. And same thing goes for women as well. You're not using the rose or nothing like that. Like, if you
The
cannot go
rose.
during that time without doing any of that, then you are in the relationship or in the marriage for a lustful reason.
okay,
rather than
sorry. Can I
love.
add one thing to what you just said? I want to add one thing because like I get your point, but within 10 years, right? If you have a wife, right, and maybe every year you just notice that she's not in the mood like a year, and then she comes back in the mood, there wouldn't be any problem. You understand what I'm saying? Because you're already used to it pretty much. You understand? But if she's always consistently, you're always consistently doing it for 10 years, and then 1 month she's not in the mood, that gives you something in your head that she's doing something outside. Because and this is and I'm saying this based on like things that I've seen, things that I've watched, even online, that people will come out and say that they notice that their boyfriend or their man is not giving them whatever. You understand? And it's usually when they are getting it outside. That's when the wife or the husband doesn't give it to them. You understand what I'm saying? You want me to go? Because it looks like you're thinking.
I disagree.
I want to say something. Like, I don't think in a marriage you should go for that long without having sex.
Exactly.
But because like, I feel like, especially for men, I just feel like men are very sexual beings.
Man,
He's
please.
already
Women are
wait.
just
So
sexual.
women, though.
Some
So
women,
women, majority of women, you know, after
Human beings are
childbirth.
very sexual, period.
No, I know, but majority of women after childbirth, because of hormones, and I'm not saying I've not given
And
birth.
the
I'm just saying
spreading
it
of
based on
bikini.
people that have experienced it. The sexual libido goes down. You get what I'm saying? But if you're a woman and you know, to be honest, me as a woman, I put it at the back of my mind because I've seen too many things. I've seen how men would be like, yeah, my wife deprived me of sex. That's why I went out. And I don't want him to have any excuse to give. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be, like, we knowledge everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why I'm listening to sex therapy. I'm not even married yet.
Yeah,
but I like
prepare
to
yourself.
expand my knowledge.
Actually, why are you listening to sex therapy?
It just popped on my YouTube and I watched
Well, your
it.
YouTube based on the algorithms. We don't want to talk about this later.
Okay,
But
really,
you can always do other things to please your man. You get, because even the Bible says, do not deny your husband of your body.
We have a
It's
preacher
for him
here.
already.
How much-
I am wife. If a woman should deprive you of sex, there's something deeper.
That's why you gotta
Even
talk
if
to her.
even if her sex drive is low, if she has the mind that, oh, that's my husband, she'll always give it. But if she finds like, oh, he's cheating, but she doesn't want to talk because you manage your marriage is the mentality of our parents to tell you. She doesn't want to talk because she doesn't want to ruin her marriage.
Exactly.
She's like, but he already, like, imagine having sex with somebody but remembering he's doing the same thing with somebody.
Exactly.
I saw an old post. The lady,
Exactly.
the man was
So that
like,
might
before you
define-
forgive that girl, make sure you know the guy was asking her, is it good? Are you enjoying it? And she said, yes, I am enjoying it.
I want to use this opportunity to thank our guest.
Thank you very much.
Thank
for
you very
coming.
much for
No
coming. We
problem.
enjoyed your
Presence.
Your presence,
Yeah.
and I
Hey,
enjoyed.
cut
It
that
was
check,
really
though.
hot.
Yeah.
Like you guys,
It was
yeah,
nice.
it was like really like this place was fiery. Even my camera right now is hot because of you guys. So, thank you guys once again, and we hope to see you next. Like we invite you. Hopefully, let me know. We hope to see you next time. So have fun, guys.
Okay.
and-
Y'all don't forget to watch, like, comment, subscribe, share with your, as I usually say, your friends, your coworkers, your family, your cousin, your nephew, your nieces, your exes, your enemies, everybody that you know, your neighbors. Share with them all. Thank you, and that's a wrap for the Spectacular Opinion.
And cut.